Part 89. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 881. What's wrong? Are you scared? After seeing Xiaoxian's appearance, Wu Bingqing smiled instead. Why are you looking at me like that? Do you also want to follow in King Glong's footsteps? Can you please stop talking nonsense? Xiaoxian felt powerless for a while. He could clearly see what happened to Qinglong just now. Divided into pieces by all the beasts. Not even a whole body was left behind. As long as you are a normal person, you cannot hope to become like that. But now, Wu Bingqing said such a sentence. Isn't this a curse for him to be unlucky? Think of this. Xiaoxian also hurriedly pouted at the ground and said, if you have this mentality, you should just imagine how to hunt the 3 giant beasts of heavenly flame. I made a rough calculation. If I want 8 dragons to baptize, each person will have 1 heavenly flame behemoth is safer. Originally, Wu Bingqing just said it casually. But when she heard what Xiaoxian said, she was even more stunned. 1 heavenly flame giant beast per person? Are you sure this isn't a joke? Indeed. Now, on the surface, there are already 3 heads, not counting the giant sky flame beast that Xiaoxian was exposed to. Moreover, these 3 giant sky flame beasts were more or less injured. If Xiaoxian and Wu Bingqing join forces, it may not be impossible to defeat these 3 giant beasts of sky flame. However, all this is just wishful thinking, not to mention whether the missing Lei Kong will cause trouble, and the Tianyan beast group will not watch helplessly as they kill their leader. These 2 problems cannot be solved. How did the 2 of them obtain the essence of the sky flame beast? Is it just a mouth? Thinking of this, Wu Bingqing couldn't help but look at Xiaoxian carefully, wanting to hear how he explained this matter. It's very simple. Destroy with 1 sword. Xiaoxian's answer was simple. Hearing this, Wu Bingqing was full of surprise, looking at him with doubts and confusion in her eyes. Defeated with 1 sword? Isn't this a bit too big a statement? 1 person defeats a group of Tianyan beasts? I'm afraid, even Dean Kanglong wouldn't dare to say this, right? Why can Xiaoxian be so presumptuous? Do you really think that you are strong enough to challenge the entire Tianyan beast herd? Think of this. Wu Bingqing couldn't help but be a little suspicious. It seems that you really have a trump card, otherwise you would never say such a thing. Haha. I have long heard that in Qinghua Academy, Qinglong is the best at fighting and Bingqing is the best at thinking. Now it seems that it is indeed the case. Xiaoxian secretly admired, only you can guess this. Hear this. Wu Bingqing also shook her head slightly. She has naturally heard of the legends in Qinghua Academy. However, from today onwards, with the fall of Qinglong and the rise of Xiaoxian, the pattern of strong men in Qinghua Academy may change in the future. The more important point is, until now, Wu Bingqing has not figured out Xiaoxian's current strength and what is his trump card. What kind of trump card is it? How can a cultivator in the spiritual god realm be so confident that he can defeat 3 5-star skyflame behemoths in the blue god realm? Although now, these 3 giant skyflame beasts have been injured. But it is definitely not easy for Xiaoxian to defeat. From this point of view, Xiaoxian's trump card should be a very strong one. For a moment, Wu Bingqing also fell into deep thought and continued, it really surprises me that you have this idea. However, when I think about it carefully, it's normal. Normal? Xiaoxian was stunned. Good. From a certain perspective, you have created too many miracles since you entered Qinghua Academy. Since you can create so many miracles, why can't I trust you again? Wu Bingqing looked natural. Like this is such a normal thing. Trust. Okay, then I will try not to betray your trust this time. Xiaoxian was a little dumbfounded. In this world, he knew that as a cultivator, the only thing he could trust was his own strength. Maybe for the average person, trust is a valuable quality. But between life and death, the only thing a cultivator can rely on is his own strength, and everything else is false. Then, should we take action? Wu Bingqing secretly glanced at the battlefield not far away. She found that the battlefield was now in disarray, and almost all the disciples of King Glei Palace were dead or injured. The three giant heavenly flame beasts were also seriously injured. At this moment, it seems that it is time for them to pick peaches. Take action. How about 2 ends for me and 1 for you? Xiao Xian said with a smile. Regarding this decision, Wu Bingqing just gave a big eye roll and said, if you bite off more than you can chew, be careful of pushing yourself to death. Don't worry. In this day and age, the brave are always overstretched and the timid are starved to death. Xiao Xian laughed, if you don't have the courage, I'm afraid you won't be able to eat enough wherever you go. Wu Bingqing was helpless. She also knew that the distribution that Xiao Xian mentioned was just the distribution of the sky flame giant beast. But she was more curious. Why is Xiao Xian so confident? Could it be that he could really defeat the 2 giant sky flame beasts? Do not know why. At this time, Wu Bingqing suddenly felt a little more heroic in her heart. Since Xiao Xian can challenge 2 giant sky flame beasts at the same time, why can't she challenge one? Could it be that she is not as good as Xiao Xian? Wu Bingqing never had this idea. Then let's compare. I can kill a giant sky flame beast faster than you. I'll help you then. After Wu Bingqing finished speaking, he rushed directly towards a lone sky flame beast in the distance. Seeing Wu Bingqing's appearance, Xiao Xian also roughly understood. It is estimated that what he just said slightly stimulated the former, otherwise, she would not be so active. But now, Xiao Xian had no intention of caring about these things. 2 giant beasts of sky flame. Even the injured sky flame beast is still a big pressure for him. I want to fight these 2 guys at the same time. For him, there is also a lot of pressure. Bring it on. However, my serious sword has not drank blood for a long time. I wonder, with the blood of your 2 monsters, can it be advanced again? Xiao Xian did not forget. The body of the serious sword is a heaven-level spiritual treasure. However, due to some reasons, he has not yet reached the level of heaven. If you want the heavenly wolf sword to regain its glory, you must let it drink enough blood of strong men. Xiao Xian feels that these 2 giant beasts of heavenly flame should be considered strong. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 882. On the battlefield. The 3 giant heavenly flame beasts had just slaughtered all the disciples of the King Glei Palace. I was planning to have a hearty meal. Who knows? 2 more people showed up. However, these 2 giant sky flame beasts could feel that Xiao Xian and Wu Bingqing seemed to be much stronger than the previous ones. Ho ho ho! Roar! The giant sky flame beast roared. This is a clear warning sign. To show their attitude, this Tianyan pond is their territory. Funny. Beasts are beasts. Do you think everyone will be afraid of you? Xiao Xian sneered. The serious sword is in hand. The Chunyangwuji sword technique was operating slowly, and the aura throughout his body grew once again, and he was already infinitely close to the Blue God realm. Because of his tyrannical soul power, his Blue God realm was far stronger than the Blue God realm that Lei Kong and others had forcibly promoted. It can be said. Now Xiao Xian, compared to the real Kang Shen realm, what he lacks is just a trace of Taoist fate. And this trace of fate, it will be completed soon after the baptism of Tianyan. Roar! A giant one-horned sky-flame beast roared, and then swam towards Xiao Xian nimbly, opening its bloody mouth and showing off its sharp fangs. A fishy smell came over. Xiao Xian frowned slightly. From the flesh and blood in this guy's mouth, it can be judged that this giant skyflame beast has just killed many Qinglei Palace disciples. Although Xiao Xian had no intention of avenging the disciples of Qinglei Palace. But now, seeing this giant heavenly flame beast with its teeth and claws, he was still a little annoyed. Showing your fangs in front of him. Doesn't this look down on him? Then just kill it with one sword. The sword light suddenly appeared. Xiao Xian's body was like a swimming dragon, attacking directly towards the giant skyflame beast. Compared to the skyflame behemoth, its body is as big as a mountain. Xiao Xian's body is not worth mentioning at all. But if anyone is present at this moment, they can feel that although Xiao Xian is not big, the swordsmanship wind on his body is extremely strong. The serious sword is like a needle. Facing the giant skyflaming beast, he did not flinch at all. With one strike of his sword, a large piece of the body of the giant skyflaming beast was cut open. Blood spurted out instantly. At the same time, Xiao Xian was unreasonable and his body disappeared in a flash before the giant skyflame beast could react. The heavenly wolf sword has already appeared on the other side of the heavenly flame giant beast. Boom! The skyflame giant beast roared angrily. The huge fin hit Xiao Xian's direction. Although its power was great, its speed was far inferior to Xiao Xian's. A fin that hit it could only hit the open ground, causing a puff of dust. Xiao Xian is like a clever little man. In front of the huge skyflame beast, you only need to rely on speed and skill to make the skyflame beast spin around. At the same time, every attack can injure the skyflame giant beast. Although the scars left by the heavenly wolf sword are not big each time, the little things add up. If the attacks continue like this, it will only be a matter of time before the heavenly flame giant beast is killed. Ho ho ho! Under severe pain. The skyflame giant beast also realized. If the battle continued like this, it would also suffer a loss. It roared angrily and even planned to call its companions to help. Xiao Xian sneered. This time, he originally had the idea of killing two giant skyflame beasts. Since the skyflame giant beast took the initiative to summon its companions, didn't it give him the opportunity to kill them all at the same time? The power of the Kangshen Realm's avenue is fully blooming. The huge sword force wind slowly appeared. The golden sword edge emerged from the heavenly wolf sword, and under the power of Daosha Dayun, the heavenly wolf sword directly chopped off the heads of the two heavenly flame giant beasts. Boom! Click! Although the head of the skyflame giant beast is hard, but the heavenly wolf sword has now reached the level of the earth. With the addition of Xiao Xian's powerful soul, one strike of the sword can directly damage the soul of the skyflame giant beast. This sword goes down. Two bottomless wounds instantly appeared on the heads of the two giant skyflame beasts. Scarlet blood. It's like a fountain, gushing out from the wound. Sudden injury. The two giant skyflame beasts also seemed to be startled. They ran away in unison. However, since Xiao Xian was determined to fight at the same time, he naturally would not watch them escape. He continued to chase them with the serious sword. This time, the giant skyflame beast was startled. They have been living in Tianyan Pond for such a long time. When have they ever seen such a fierce person? Especially that long sword. Every time they waved, they could feel a pain coming from their souls. As opposed to physical injuries. These skyflame behemoths with very weak soul power are even more afraid of soul attacks. Therefore, they still have the idea of resisting when facing Lei Kong's Nine Heavens Green Thunder. But facing Xiao Xian's soul power, they were a little scared. At the same time, the two guys ran away in different directions. I thought you were so powerful, but it seems like it's nothing more than that. The next second, he appeared directly in front of another giant skyflame beast. Xiao Xian couldn't help but sneered. It turned into a pile of dry carrion. Are these sky flame giant beasts just ordinary trials? After a muffled sound. Boom. Logically speaking, ordinary monsters are similar to human cultivators, and they are all born from the physical body. Almost in just a quarter of an hour. Although they are not small in size, their escape speed is not slow when it comes to life and death. Are we really here? Xiao Xian fell into deep thought instead. Or, aiming at a giant one-horned sky flame beast, Xiao Xian threw it hard, and the serious sword stabbed towards it like a stream of light. Xiao Xian shook his head, reached out and took out the essence of the sky flame beast, and looked at it carefully. At the same time, Xiao Xian stepped on the yin and yang stealth technique. Fancy. Then we have to see if he can agree. This giant sky flame beast was completely frightened. With an angry roar, it opened its mouth and planned to escape. After taking out the essence. See this. Under the tremendous force, the sky flame giant beast took a few steps back before slowly falling to the ground. On the contrary, without the heavenly flame essence, how could the heavenly flame behemoth decay so quickly? The internal organs of the giant sky flame beast were instantly shattered. Is this, the power of Tianyan essence? Xiao Xian secretly sighed. It is said that this Tianyan pool is originally a drop of the blood of old man Tianyan, so the Tianyan essence in the bodies of these Tianyan giant beasts is all has old man Tianyan's Taoyun been revealed. Interesting. He felt that unlike ordinary monsters, after losing the sky flame essence, the body of the sky flame beast quickly decayed. But Xiao Xian would not give it a chance. So, are these giant sky flame beasts real monsters? For a while. At this time, he faced Xiao Xian. Punch it into the body. So that means that as long as the sky flame essence is lost, the sky flame giant beast will no longer even have a corpse. The palm of your hand circulates the power of the avenue. Want to run? You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 883. Once again, he came to the corpse of another giant sky flame beast. In the same way. After extracting the sky flame essence from the body of the sky flame giant beast, as expected, the body of the sky flame giant beast was instantly reduced to nothing. Interesting. I didn't expect that the person who picked the peaches in the end was actually you, Xiao Xian. Xiao Xian had just obtained the Tianyan essence. I heard a burst of jeers from behind. When he turned around, he saw Lei Kong, whose face was covered with wounds and whose breath was disordered. Lei Kong, you're not dead yet. Xiao Xian didn't care. He didn't care about Lei Kong in his heyday, so what threat could Lei Kong pose now? I let you down. Not only am I fine, I also got the essence of a giant sky flame beast. Lei Kong said coldly. However, even with such a harvest, it seems that it is still not as good as you. Seeing the essence of the sky flame giant beast in Lei Kong's hand, Xiao Xian's brows also wrinkled slightly. He saw it clearly at that time. In the Tianyan pond, there were only 3 Tianyan behemoths. He killed 2 of them, and one was on Wu Bingqing's side. So, the sky flame giant beast in front of him should be the one Wu Bingqing is facing? Did Lei Kong take action against Wu Bingqing? Xiao Xian's face turned ugly instantly. Although, the sky flame giant beast is not weak. However, after passing through Lei Kong's thunderstorm formation, these sky flame behemoths were already at the end of their strength. Wu Bingqing is ready to go. Relying on his status as the second largest inner sect of King Hua College, she wanted to defeat an injured sky flame beast. It didn't sound that difficult, but why was the sky flame essence in Lei Kong's hands now? Isn't this a bit strange? What's more, based on the previous situation, he could roughly tell that Lei Kong had probably regarded him and Wu Bingqing as enemies. That being the case, could it be said that Lei Kong would take action against Wu Bingqing? Where is Wu Bingqing? Xiao Xian asked in a deep voice. Ha ha ha. If my prediction is good, you must be begging me, right? Then the tone is a bit inappropriate. Even though his face was covered in wounds. But there was a ferocious smile on Lei Kong's face. I seriously injured these 3 giant sky flame beasts. Now you come out to take advantage, isn't it a bit too much? To this, Xiao Xian didn't feel any guilt at all. Picking peaches. The trials in the world are only for those who are destined to get them. Although the sky flame beast was injured by thunder and sky before, so what? Later, he didn't shed his shell as a golden toad. Directly betrayed the entire Qinglei Palace disciples. By betraying his disciples, he obtained the heavenly flame essence. Such a thing. It sounds absolutely abominable. Not to mention Lei Kong actually accomplished this. What are you going to do? It depends on what you mean. Do you have other plans? Xiao Xian sneered. When he looked back, he saw no trace of Wu Bingqing. He couldn't help but said with an ugly face, if you think you can threaten me in this way. Thoughts on Lei Kong? Xiao Xian can roughly guess a thing or two. It was nothing more than the hope that he could threaten him in this matter and obtain the heavenly flame essence, or something else. Of course. However, this plan requires your cooperation. Lei Kong sneered and said, speaking of which, it's your fault too. It's because of you that our Qinglei Palace lost so many manpower in this kind of situation. What are you going to do? Stop talking nonsense. Xiao Xian intuitively felt that Lei Kong's plan was not a good thing. Enter deeper into the Tianyan pond. Looking for a treasure. Lei Kong sneered, as for the last, I can give you this Tianyan essence. Hear this. Xiao Xian couldn't help but frown slightly. He didn't expect that Lei Kong would reveal such information. Treasure. Could it be said that there are other treasures in the depths of Tianyan pond? This coincided with his previous judgment. However, according to ordinary principles, there will be dangers when treasures appear. Maybe this is the reason why Lei Kong took the initiative to find him. A mere Tianyan essence. Only you disciples care about the fact that the real secret treasure of Tianyan pond is the drop of blood essence of old man Tianyan. Lei Kong's eyes showed desire. Xiao Xian couldn't help but be a little confused about this. Why now? Obviously impossible. Say it. It's just that there are many demons protecting the demon testing stone, making it difficult for ordinary people to get close to it. Previously, he also heard Wu Bingqing talking about the legend about demons. He didn't take it seriously at first, but he didn't expect it to be true. Tianyan pond was transformed into a drop of blood essence from old man Tianyan. Originally, they were enemies in Tianyan pond. You said you are looking for the essence and blood of old man Tianyan? Are you a little too confident? Now that there is a treasure in front of him, could Lei Kong be so kind and take the initiative to tell him the news about the secret treasure? Or does Lei Kong just trust him so much? Do you think he won't do such a thing? This is the real treasure in this Tianyan pond. Are you not afraid that he will fight for it? Steal this trial magic stone? Demon. You want me to deal with those demons? As long as you have this stone, you can greatly increase the practitioner's cultivation speed, and it can also speed up the practitioner's understanding of the Great Road. This is a legend he has heard, but if it were in this situation, this drop of blood should have turned into everything in the Tianyan pond. Instead, he became Lei Kong's target. Xiao Xian frowned slightly. This stone is called the testing stone. But Xiao Xian could feel the danger behind these words. Lei Kong said arrogantly, you are right. As the only dragon god realm on this continent, old man Tianyan does have this strength, but what I want to find is old man Tianyan's essence and blood. A piece of stone. It seems that the devil really exists. This really made him a little confused. Is it possible that this thing still exists in Tianyan Pond? Delay time? But since these things are called demons, they are naturally extremely dangerous. How can it be simple for him to delay time? Xiao Xian's face was serious. A strong man in the dragon god realm has a profound understanding of the great road in every drop of blood and every hair. With the spiritual realm of you and me, I am afraid that even the slightest contact may cause his body to explode and die. Don't wait for Xiao Xian to finish. Although he never actually saw the devil, Lei Kong smiled instead. You don't need to defeat them, you just need to help me delay enough time. When I get the magic test stone, you can leave. This is said easily. After Lei Kong finished speaking, he gently placed the Tianyan essence in the space magic weapon with sarcasm in his eyes. Why did Lei Kong tell him these things? Now, do you understand what I asked you to do? Xiao Xian simply got straight to the point. Since this trial stone is so precious, then those demons must not be weak in strength. Why do you think I can defeat these demons? Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 884. Certainly. You can choose to refuse, but you will never see your woman again. Lei Kong's eyes were vicious. Xiao Xian couldn't help being stunned by these words, and then smiled bitterly. It's been a long time. Did Lei Kong regard Wu Bingqing as his Taoist companion? I have to say that this idea is indeed a bit bold and arrogant. Although Xiao Xian did not comment on the result, if Wu Bingqing knew about it, he would probably teach Lei Kong a lesson. Only now. Xiao Xian still didn't show anything, but asked Lei Kong with cold eyes, where is Wu Bingqing now? Do not worry. I'll just let her sleep for a while. If you can complete this task well, I will wake her up soon. How about it? Lei Kong spoke like he was showing off. At the same time, he also pointed to the hillside on the side. I saw Wu Bingqing closing her eyes tightly and leaning on the hillside, with a long black needle stuck between her eyebrows. See this? Xiao Xian's face instantly darkened. He and Wu Bingqing have not known each other for a long time. But since he met the latter helped him a lot in Qinghua Academy. Later, after entering the baptism of Tianyan, it was Wu Bingqing who also helped him a lot. Just rely on these things. He couldn't just watch something go wrong with Wu Bingqing. Don't come close. Haven't you heard of the reputation of the Black Mist poison needle? This is the most famous hidden weapon in the land of Black Mist. If the person who gets the needle doesn't have my unique antidote, he will explode and die within 3 days. Lei Kong said proudly, you don't want to see such a delicate beauty tortured to death by poisonous needles, right? You are not afraid that I will kill you. Forcibly take away the antidote. Xiao Xian's face was as dark as water. If anything, he could ignore Lei Kong's previous provocation. But now, Lei Kong's threat from Qi Kuokuo was enough to make him angry. It's not that simple. Lei Kong said lazily, the black mist poison needle uses a wonderful way of moving the needle. Even if you have the antidote and no antidote, it will have no effect on the poison needle. Seeing Lei Kong's confident look, Xiao Xian's face became a little more stern, and he suddenly smiled. Do you think these threats of yours are very effective? Isn't there any? If you want to take action, then, you, Xiao Xian. Lei Kong was originally ready to laugh out loud, but the next second, he saw a serious sword stabbing directly into his chest. Blood flowed from his chest like a waterfall. For a while, Lei Kong also looked at Xiao Xian in disbelief, his eyes full of confusion. He did not expect that Xiao Xian would be so decisive. Take action when you say it. Don't you even care about Wu Bingqing's life or death? This was beyond his expectation. Threaten. I, Xiao Xian, have never been threatened by others. Xiao Xian sneered, the serious sword appeared in his hand, and pierced Lei Kong's chest again. It wiped out the last trace of life in his body. As for the black mist poison needle, to him who has been practicing for thousands of years, it is nothing. What's more, he has the guarantee of $1 million prescription, so he doesn't have to worry about the black mist poison needle having any great qualities. Could it be that it was a secret left by old man Tianyan? Can't even solve it with a mere poisonous needle? Wouldn't this insult the reputation of the strongest dragon god realm in the entire eastern wilderness continent? This is absolutely impossible. Think of this. Xiao Xian's mind was also running rapidly, looking for the solution to the black mist poisonous needle among the 10,000 gold prescriptions. As expected, he really found it. It turns out that the old man Tianyan was also a medicine refining person, and he had his own understanding of poisons and elixirs. The so-called medicine is 3 parts poison. The 10,000 gold prescriptions left by old man Tianyan cover all things, and many of the things that can cure diseases and save lives are basically preserved in the 10,000 gold prescriptions. It can be said, the 10,000 gold prescription is the most complete elixir refining prescription on the Eastern Barren continent and even on the Great Dao continent. Except for having an antidote. Do you still need the spiritual power of reality? Are you going to use the power of the Great Dao of the Kangshen realm to detoxify? After checking it carefully, Xiao Xian discovered that what Lei Kong had just said was complete nonsense. With Lei Kong's power, it was impossible to remove the black mist poisonous needle. This black mist poisonous needle. Poisoning is easy, but detoxification is extremely difficult. In addition to having an exclusive antidote, you also need a real soul and the power of the blue god realm. There is neither of these two things. In other words, even if Xiao Xian did what Lei Kong asked, in the end, Lei Kong would not be able to fulfill his promise to help Wu Bingqing detoxify. You really deserve to die. Xiao Xian cursed fiercely at Lei Kong on the ground. But at this moment, Xiao Xian also faced a problem. Although he found the antidote to the black mist poison needle from Lei Kong's space magic weapon, he wanted to detoxify it. You also need to have the power of the Great Dao of Kangshen realm. Although he can activate the pure Yangwuji swordsmanship to enhance the power of the body, these powers can only be used in combat. It cannot be used to treat such delicate matters. This kind of thing, if you are not careful, may cause harm to Wu Bingqing. If they are in the outside world, perhaps, Master Wu Meng can also be allowed to take action and come into contact with the black mist poisonous needle on Wu Bingqing's body. But according to Lei Kong, if the black mist poison needle cannot be solved within 3 days, it will be life-threatening, but 3 days is obviously not enough time for the baptism of Tianyan to start. Now, the only person who can save Wu Bingqing is Xiao Xian himself. Think of this. Xiao Xian couldn't help but grit his teeth. To save Wu Bingqing, he needs to break through to the blue god realm within 3 days. Now, he has 3 heavenly flame beast essences in his hand. If he swallows them all, he may still have a chance to be promoted. Perhaps, this is also the only opportunity for promotion. In that case, then let's give it a try. Looking at lying on the hillside, the dying Wu Bingqing, Xiao Xian did not hesitate and summoned Xiao Lu to help purify the violent factor in the essence of the sky flame beast. Then he began to absorb the pure energy crazily. As a 4th-grade beast, the sky flame giant beast is infinitely close to a 3rd-grade monster, so the energy within its spirit is naturally extremely abundant. Xiao Xian just crushed one. The pure energy leaked out instantly. The huge energy flowed down his arms and into his Danshan Qi Si, and began to frantically cleanse the meridians of his body. For a moment, Xiao Xian just felt an incomparable pain. It was as if a powerful force was helping him cleanse the muscles and veins in his body. The numbing feeling made him couldn't help but scratch it. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 885. Brother System. It's now time, why don't you stop hiding your secrets? The bottom of Tianyan Pond. The three heavenly flame beast essences were completely consumed. Xiao Xian also felt that the power of the great Dao in his body was more than several times stronger, and the Qi Si became several times larger. The majestic and huge power of the avenue is fully present in the Sea of Qi. He could feel that his current power of the great Dao had reached the opportunity to break through. What was missing was just a chance. In fact, this is also true for the vast majority of Dzogchen practitioners in the spiritual realm. The most difficult problem to solve. For ordinary cultivators, it is easier to obtain the power of the Dao compared to Daiyuan. After all, in this world, pills, spiritual herbs, treasures, magic circles, inheritance. These methods can allow practitioners of the great perfection of the spiritual God realm to obtain sufficient power of the great avenue to break through. And these things are in some giant sects not uncommon. But even so, it is extremely difficult to break through the blue God realm, or in other words, many people are not willing to break through easily. The reason is nothing more than the word Tao Yuan. A strong path is equivalent to a stronger foundation. If you get a stronger Taoist fate, it will naturally allow the cultivator to have a broader path in the future. The path of a blade of grass. Compared with the wooden path, the latter is naturally more powerful. Of course, this is not absolute. If there are really people who have been studying the Tao of grass for thousands of years, they may be able to study the Tao that is enough to advance to the realm of the Golden God. However, these are all rare things. So this time, Xiao Xian even hopes to obtain the primordial chaos path to enhance his energy in the Kangshen realm in the future. In this regard, the system responded quickly. Agree. This made Xiao Xian a little confused. Based on his previous experience, the system would usually come up with various reasons for giving him something. Let him complete the task. Or go to practice hard to gain enlightenment or something. What is it today? The sun rises from the west? You don't want anything? Just give him something as precious as chaos path? Is there any secret in this? Brother System. Are you having a great time today? Is there any secret? Xiao Xian couldn't help but ask doubtfully, if this is really the case, why not sleep out now, so that I can be prepared, right? Did not expect. The system did not respond to his words. Instead, a gray yin-yang and five elements path appeared in front of him. In the Taoist fate, fishes of yin and yang colors are constantly swimming, mysterious and wonderful, and the Tao Qi is high. It is obvious that this is the precious chaotic Taoist fate. This. Brother System, you don't want anything and you just give me such a good thing. I'm really a little suspicious. Xiao Xian licked his lips. Chaos is born, and everything is born from chaos. It can be said that between heaven and earth, chaos is the beginning and source of all things. The fate of chaos. This is serious good stuff. Put it somewhere else. Not to mention the mere Qinghua Academy, even in the Qinglei Palace, I am afraid that it is something that only the Saint Fairy can have. Didn't expect it now. The system is so generous. Moreover, it is still an unconditional gift. This really made Xiao Xian feel a little flattered. But really speaking, after such a long time, he can also know that the help given to him by the system is absolutely selfless. As long as there is the best, the system will not give him second-class treatment. From this perspective, there is naturally no problem with the chaotic path given by the system. But now, instead, he was a little curious. What Lei Kong said before was about the test of the magic stone. Could it be said that this is really the case? If the magic test stone was left by old man Tianyan, it must be extremely precious. With the help of the system, Xiao Xian has also used various magic formations that can improve his skills and Taoist fate. So far, the results have been good. Therefore, he is also a little interested. If he can really get the demon test stone, will it greatly deepen his understanding of the path of chaos? Think of this. Xiao Xian was even more curious. Boy! Bite off more than you can chew. Although it is important to have some assistance, you must first stabilize your own realm so that you can get enough assistance. The system's words will appear at the right time. These words were enlightening. In an instant, Xiao Xian understood a lot. Want to become stronger? It definitely didn't seem to happen overnight. From a certain perspective, if you want to become a strong person as soon as possible, you will naturally need some means and patience. In this case, if you want to test the magic stone, you must first become the blue god realm. Xiao Xian's thoughts changed, and the power of the soul was released, wrapping towards the chaotic path in front of him. Powerful soul power. Under great power. After Chaos De Yuan approached the power of the soul, he felt an ancient power from the prehistoric times being instilled into his body. Under such powerful ancient power, he felt. This ancient power was instilled into Xiao Xian's body, under such a strong Taoist fate. He clearly felt that his understanding of the Great Road was gradually deepening. Under the strong Taoist fate, his control of power has also become more mature. In front of him, under the perception of the soul, he seemed to be in a complicated world of stars. In the grey chaotic world, all things, stars, plants, and races, they all seemed to be surrounded by chaos, and with the movement of chaos, all these things began to slowly multiply and grow. From the originally desolate world, it turned into a lush jungle world. Then, the first monster appeared, the first group of monsters appeared, and the human group also slowly appeared. When the first sword cultivator appeared, cults and sects appeared in humans. Everything. Time passes. Birth, old age, sickness, and death. It was like a movie, replaying over and over again in front of Xiao Xian. Under the power of chaos, the changes in the world are also repeated. This really made him a little bit unimaginable. So, chaos is the origin of all things. Do all changes in everything originate from chaos? Then you have understood the avenue of chaos. Isn't it equivalent to understanding the great avenues on this continent? In this case, Xiao Xian really needs to study it carefully. Sitting cross-legged on the ground, the power of his soul appeared again, stretching towards the grey chaos in front of him. A trace of soul touches the chaos. Before Xiao Xian was ready to comprehend, he was surprised to find that this trace of divine soul power was directly swallowed up. This is crazy. What's the situation? Xiao Xian was stunned. He asked himself. He has seen many people in big scenes, and he also understands the way of thunder and lightning and the way of fire. But I have never encountered this situation. Who knew there was such a thing? You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 886. How do you understand this? For a while, Xiao Xian was also a little confused. He didn't expect that such a thing would happen. When he was meditating before, he had not cared about these things, and it seemed that it was not that difficult to meditate on some things. How could something like this happen today? According to the previous logic, the fate of chaos. Even if he is strong, it is not to the point where he cannot comprehend it, right? Otherwise, why would the system do these things? However, on the other hand, if ordinary people want to understand the power within it, they naturally need stronger power. In this case, does he seem to need to give something else? System prompt: if you want to gain strength, you must have a strong enough heart and perseverance. Isn't this nonsense? Xiao Xian murmured to himself. For so long. He also gained some means and strength. In some ways, the various secret treasures he obtained on the Dao continent are all very good. Speaking of which, these secret treasures are enough to make him arrogant and domineering on the Dao continent. But now, it seems like this trick can no longer be used. Isn't it just perseverance? I have been practicing for so many years, and the most important thing I lack is perseverance. Xiao Xian sneered. After calming down, with the addition of the heaven and earth soul searching technique, the power of the soul became stronger again. Under such power, he also had some preliminary understanding of the way of chaos. As he gained enlightenment, he also discovered that there were secrets between heaven and earth. I do not know how long it has been. Inside the Tianyan pond. Before, the sky flame beast that was lucky enough to survive in the battlefield also began to look for it. Chewing on the corpses of some Qinglei Palace disciples. A large sky flame beast relied on its strength to squeeze away several of its kind, and then set its target on a human cultivator sitting cross-legged. Judging from the breath, this human cultivator seems to have fallen into a state of drowsiness. There is no strong aura in his body. After selecting the target, this sky flame beast also opened its big mouth and rushed towards this person. However, before the sky flame beast could get closer, a fierce sword wind suddenly appeared. Just split it in half. Under the sharp sword. After the sky flame beast's body paused in mid-air for a few seconds, it slowly split into two halves and fell to the ground. But the magic is, the next second, after the body of the sky flame beast fell to the ground, it slowly melted and turned into a puddle of mud. Then a small sky flame tree grew on the spot. Interesting. The fate of chaos is indeed magical. You can actually come back to life. Xiao Xian sighed secretly. After spending a few days, only with great perseverance did he slowly realize the fate of chaos, relying on this trace of fate of chaos. He clearly felt it. His swordsmanship actually contains a trace of the power of resurrection. Under chaos, a thought arises. A thought of death. Although he has not yet reached the point of controlling everything in the world, he is still very confident in controlling a monster beast and a cultivator. This actually surprised him a bit. For so long, he only knows killing and does not know resurrection. Unexpectedly, Chaos knew that he could be so powerful. In addition, he also discovered that with the bonus of Chaos Dayun, every sword he swung could carry mysterious power. Often there is only 3 points of strength. It can achieve the effect of 5 points or even 8 points. Under such mystery, he also has information that he is at the beginning level of the Blue God Realm and fighting against the intermediate level of the Blue God Realm. After easily getting rid of the Sky Flame Beast, Xiao Xian turned around and began to concentrate on solving the problem of the Black Mist Poison Needle. According to the 10,000 gold prescription, he found that in order to resolve the poisonous needle, he first needed to use the power of the Blue God Realm to pull out the toxin in the poisonous needle. At first, he was still a little puzzled. Don't know how to operate it? However, when he came into contact with the 10,000 gold prescription, he suddenly realized that among the 10,000 gold prescription, there seemed to be a complete set of medical magic treasures. According to the above introduction, as long as you swallow this spiritual treasure, you can become a first-class doctor. This really shocked Xiao Xian. After coming to this continent for such a long time, he also roughly understood what a first-grade doctor was like. General physician. If it were just for treating ordinary people, there would basically be no products. But if so, there are differences in the levels of doctors who can treat practitioners. The lowest level is level 5, and the highest level is level 1. It is said that if you become a first-class doctor, you will have the ability to bring the dead back to life. Even a strong man in the realm of the Golden God must treat such a person with respect and not dare to offend easily. Now, just swallow a spiritual treasure. Can it actually have such an effect? Isn't this a bit unbelievable? Moreover, for a doctor who has reached this level, his skills are earth-shattering. Could it be that he swallowed this spiritual treasure? In the end, nothing may be accomplished. He remembers it clearly. This should be someone who can stand on the top of the eastern wilderness continent. Released in his mind. The colorful little green on his body has the miraculous medical skill of great recovery. I don't know that this medical skill is put together with the medical skill on his body. System prompt, everything depends on trying. If you don't try, how will you know how strong you are? A first-class doctor? Brother system, you gave me your idea before I even asked. Who knew that today's system could respond so quickly? Isn't this a bit weird? A large amount of medical skills are flowing like a tide. Does he know that first-grade doctors are not ordinary beings? There are some doctors who have spent their entire lives practicing hard. Is it really going to be achieved? Finally, can he still practice medicine? Like Xiaoxian. Can you reach such a state? Moreover, he didn't hesitate, opened his mouth and swallowed it in one gulp. Afterwards, this spiritual treasure became warm in his belly and continued to release some energy. Some sophisticated medical knowledge was slowly being digested as if it had already existed in his mind. Ordinarily, a person of the level of old man Tianyan would not make fun of people like us. Are there any similarities? A first-class doctor. Based on what he learned before. Then try it. On the great Dao continent, people who have never learned medical skills can achieve such achievements. Facing around Lingbao. Isn't this a bit weird? Xiaoxian was also secretly surprised. It is indeed an amazing thing. He had not originally thought of seeking help from the system. Xiaoxian was a little helpless. That being the case, feel these wonderful changes in your body. Xiaoxian smiled. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 887. Little Green. I remember that you also have recovery spells. After having a golden prescription, Xiaoxian also has some basic understanding of medical skills. At this moment, he could clearly feel it. Compared to the medical skills on Wanjin prescription, the recovery skills on Xiaolu's body seemed a bit strange. It is different from ordinary treatment methods. On the contrary, there is a magical power. This kind of power is something that even Xiaoxian cannot understand now. Jiji. As the most loyal beast around Xiaoxian. Hearing Xiaoxian's call, Xiaolu quickly jumped out, tilted his head, and looked at Xiaoxian carefully. Looking at this, he seemed to be very concerned about the changes in Xiaoxian. This made Xiaoxian a little proud. Although until now, Xiaoxian didn't understand it either. What is the origin of this little green guy? But he understood that Xiaolu's identity must be extraordinary, based on his unnatural operation of chewing the ancient stone tablet. Xiaolu's fighting power must not be weak. Little Green. Ordinarily, a powerful ancient monster like you, an ancient monster should have been able to speak for a long time. Why can't you even speak now? Xiaoxian was really curious. Before, when he was on the ancient continent, I have already seen some mythical beasts with language abilities. Ordinarily, with Xiaolu's level of skill, opening his mouth to speak should be a very simple matter, right? It's not that difficult, right? Now, face the little green in front of you. Xiaoxian was really full of doubts, and he could roughly feel it. Xiaolu's body is certainly not weak. He is a truly powerful ancient beast. With the help of such a level beast, he would be on top of the great Dao continent. the road ahead will definitely be simpler. More importantly, now, even a fool knows that. Now that Xiao Xian has obtained the $1 million prescription and caused such a big commotion in Tianyan Pond, he will definitely attract the attention of bigwigs from all sides after he goes out. Therefore, he also urgently needs to improve his strength. Although he has now reached the Kangshen realm, he also had a glimmer of the ability to protect himself. However, if you want to be safe and sound on the Great Dao continent in the future, you need some other help. Just like the little green in front of me. Not to mention, this little green himself is very powerful. If we can also discover the racial background behind little green, we can get some rare treasures. Then, it will definitely be helpful to improve his strength. More importantly, ever since I got Xiaolu, Xiao Xian vaguely felt that Xiaolu seemed to have some unknown secrets. And these secrets are the key to improving his strength. I said, Xiaolu, we've known each other for such a long time. If you still have any concerns, why not just say them outright? Xiao Xian said with a smile, now, if we can help each other, we will definitely achieve something successful in the end, right? Jiji Xiaolu's interest waned. Ahem, I mean, if possible, I may be able to help you become the boss of your clan one day. Xiao Xian continued to add more money. Jiji. For this condition. Xiao Lu's reaction was obviously bigger than before. However, when Xiao Lu looked at Xiao Xian for a while, he returned to his lazy look. This time, Xiao Xian was a little helpless instead. He was not stupid, and it was obvious at this time that Xiaolu clearly disliked his strength. Anyway, Xiaolu's attitude. It hit him somewhat. In fact, as a cultivator who has only been on the Dao continent for a short time, it is already remarkable that he can achieve the step in such a short period of time. But now, from the look on Xiao Lu's face, it was obvious that she still disliked it. Ahem. What I want to say is, I have reached the Kangshen realm now. Although I am not a very powerful being, I still have a bright future for development. Xiao Xian couldn't help but said. In fact, he felt helpless in his heart. I really want to talk about it. As the founding Yuanling, the future development must be smooth and smooth, making everyone envious and shocked. Even some ancient tribes of mythical beasts and wealthy families. Xiao Xian may not be so afraid, and even one day in the future, he may not be able to trample these big families under his feet. Jiji. You said you wanted to give me a chance. Xiao Xian's eyes lit up. He was originally thinking about how to gain Xiao Lu's trust, but he didn't expect that Xiao Lu would change so quickly. Is there something in the depths of Tianyan Pond that can transform you? In that case. She didn't expect that. Is Xiao Xian a little too bold? Under the power of the gentle avenue. I'm afraid she would have died of poison long ago. A colorful ray of light appeared. Good. The person who finally treated her turned out to be Xiao Xian. Instilled into Wu Bingqing's body. 3 heavenly flame giant beast essences. Relying on the understanding of the precious medicine in his body, Xiao Xian also had flying fingers, constantly dredging the meridians on Wu Bingqing's body. Did not expect. Then Wu Bingqing also opened her eyes. At that time, when she was attacked by Lei Kong, she felt a little desperate for a moment. The person who treated him was actually Xiao Xian? It took 3 heavenly flame giant beast essences to barely break through to the blue god realm. Xiao Xian smiled weakly. How are you feeling okay? After Wu Bingqing opened her eyes and felt the warm power in her body, her eyes lit up when she looked at the dark black mist poison needle in Xiao Xian's hand. Wu Bingqing nodded. In the Tianyan Pond, there are no real Kangshen realm experts, and if you wait until the baptism of Tianyan is over, you can walk out of the Tianyan Pond. I really want to go take a look. Xiao Xian also took a long breath, wiped the sweat from his forehead, and smiled slightly. Xiao Xian has visited all 8 major meridians and 365 acupuncture points in Wu Bingqing's body, allowing her body to be cleansed. One after another strength. See Wu Bing wake up. A full hour's time. At the same time, as he kept walking in Wu Bingqing's body, he could see that these powers would expel part of the black mist toxin from her body every time she walked. Wu Bingqing also benefited a lot from this treatment. Yingning. The gentle power of the avenue also continued to strengthen her body. You in the Kangshen realm. This also proves that Xiao Xian's strength has reached the Kangshen realm. Such a big deal? Did you use 3 heavenly flame beast essences? Originally, Xiao Xian was still teasing with a smile, but when he heard Xiao Lu's words, his face instantly became serious. Look at what treasures there are in here. But the next second, her face suddenly changed. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 888. What's wrong? What's the problem? See Wu Bingqing's expression. Xiao Xian was a little more confused and asked, "It's just that you swallowed a few of the essences of the sky flame giant beasts. Do you have such a big reaction? Is it because you can't bear to part with it?" Wu Bingqing shook her head quickly. Of course she knew that the reason why Xiao Xian swallowed 3 heavenly flame giant beast essences in succession was to advance to the blue god realm as soon as possible and help her cure the black mist poison needle. Don't say anything else. Just rely on this thought. Wu Bingqing would be grateful. How could he be heartbroken for the spirit of the giant beast of heavenly flame? However, she didn't expect that Xiao Xian actually devoured 3 heavenly flame giant beast essences before being promoted to the blue god realm. 3. The essence of the heavenly flame giant beast. What is that concept? She knew that a giant sky flame beast was already as powerful as a 5-star Kangshen realm human cultivator. This is already the middle level of Kangshen realm. And the spirit of the monster beast. As the core thing in the monster's body, it contains all the power of the avenue in the monster's body. It is not only extremely violent, but also has rich energy. Ordinary practitioners. If you want to reach the great perfection from the spiritual god realm and break through to the blue god realm, you only need to use 1 sky flame giant beast essence. Where can Xiao Xian be like this? Just use 3 of them at every turn? Isn't this a joke? Could it be that Xiao Xian was not worried that the violent power in the essence of the sky flame beast would affect his body? Think of this. Wu Bingqing was also a little confused and couldn't help but look at Xiao Xian and asked, "It is said that the body of the sky flame giant beast has a lot of violent power. If you swallow so much at one time, aren't you afraid of backlash? It seems like I don't feel much yet. However, if there is going to be a backlash, I'm afraid I'll be unlucky now." Xiao Xian had a smile on his face, but he obviously didn't take these words to heart. To this, Wu Bingqing was also secretly surprised. You know, if placed on an ordinary person, the essence of 3 giant sky flame beasts would be enough to cause a Kangshen realm powerhouse to explode and die. Who knows? Xiao Xian is a person who has perfected the spiritual realm. It can actually swallow the essence of 3 giant beasts of sky flame? To her, this was simply unbelievable and incomprehensible. You just swallowed 3 demonic elixirs from the giant sky flame beast. Don't you have other feelings? Wu Bingqing felt a little incredible. It seems not, Xiao Xian said casually. Incredible. I heard Master say it. The higher the talent of a spiritual god realm cultivator, the larger the qi in the body, and the more power of the great Dao can be accommodated in it. Wu Bingqing took a deep look at Xiao Xian and said, "You are still at the great perfection of the spiritual god realm, but you already have the energy C to hold the power of the 3 heavenly flame giant beasts. Your talent is so high that the entire Qinghua Academy is afraid that it's hard to compare. Although this is a compliment. but it can be regarded as what Wu Bingqing is thinking in her heart. In such a long time, Xiao Xian was indeed the most powerful person in the spiritual realm that she had seen in terms of strength and talent. No, it should be the Blue God realm now. Is it? Then I'm really honored. Xiao Xian smiled slightly and said noncommittally, there are countless strong practitioners in the world. If you really want to talk about it, I am nothing. Originally, what he said was just to show humility. But to Wu Bingqing's ears, this was not the case. As someone who is at the beginning of the Blue God realm and has such a large qi, with such talent and strength, he is probably the best among them even in the Qinglei Palace. But what is Xiao Xian talking about now? You actually said he was just an ordinary person? If he is an ordinary person like him, who are the other disciples? Isn't it possible that there is nothing? For a while, Wu Bingqing next to her also had an embarrassed look on her face. Isn't this a typical example of getting a good deal and still doing well? It makes people feel envious and helpless at the same time. All right. Stop showing off this. You have such a high talent and you still feel sorry for yourself here. Who do we think you are? If other disciples of Qinghua Academy heard what you just said, wouldn't they die of envy? Wu Bingqing said helplessly, if I were you, I wouldn't say such things. Hear this. Xiao Xian also looked a little helpless. However, if you really want to talk about it, since he stepped into the cultivation path, it seems that he has been smooth sailing. Even if you encounter setbacks occasionally, it can be solved successfully in the end. From a certain perspective, he also has some pride. All right. But that's what I'm curious about. You swallowed 3 of the essences of the giant sky flame beast alive, and your purpose was not just to save me, right? Wu Bingqing suddenly asked. When asked this question, Xiao Xian was really stunned. In fact, when he devoured the 3 heavenly flame beast essences, he really didn't think much about it. It was just to save Wu Bingqing. Now after hearing these words, he said naturally, you are thinking too much. At that time, I was thinking about entering the Blue God realm as soon as possible so that I would be able to save you. I didn't think about anything else. Say it. Wu Bingqing next to her was really embarrassed. In fact, she thought that Xiao Xian's risk of swallowing the essence of 3 giant beasts was definitely not just for her. But now, look at Xiao Xian's performance. It seems that he did this not just to break through to the Blue God realm, but really to take care of her. This made Wu Bingqing very moved. There was even a warm feeling deep inside her heart. After all, after so many years. Although Wu Bingqing, as the second disciple of the inner sect, has a transcendent status in Qinghua Academy. But it has always been. Wu Bingqing still felt very insecure inside. From her point of view, regardless of the sect or family, even some of her fellow disciples were only nice to her because of her status. Others are not worth mentioning at all. Now, Xiao Xian directly devoured 3 heavenly flame beast essences for her, and this emotion was enough to move her. But, speaking of which, there is another thing. Lei Kong said that there is a magic test stone deep in the Tianyan pond. Are you interested? Xiao Xian said, in addition, I also have a feeling that there should be other treasures under the water of Tianyan pond. Hear this. Wu Bingqing frowned slightly. She could also roughly tell that the reason why Xiao Xian said this was because he realized something. Maybe there really is a treasure deep in Tianyan pond. As for the test magic stone mentioned by Lei Kong, she was also secretly surprised and a little unbelievable. To know. Try magic stones. It is said to be an ancient thing, a spiritual treasure used by ancient races for cultivation. Who would have expected that it would exist in the Tianyan pond? Could it be? Did old man Tianyan get this thing? You are listening to Novels at Bless Up channel. Wish you happiness and luck. How do you feel about this novel? Please like and leave a comment. Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 889. Did not expect. In the depths of Tianyan Pond, there will still be something like this. Wu Bingqing was also surprised. This also shows that old man Tianyan is indeed extraordinary and can actually find the treasures left by the ancient race, but, how does Lei Kong know about it? On this issue, Xiao Xian also thought about it. If you really want to talk about it, as a disciple of King Lei Palace, Lei Kong naturally has to be the first to get the best when doing things. Some things are basically understandable. He had even thought about it. After all, King Lei Palace was a major sect with its back. It shouldn't be a mere baptism for the heavenly flame. Just send this pair of disciples here specially. Even bringing out things as high as the 9 heavens Blue Thunder and the Thunderstorm formation is enough to prove that the Blue Thunder Palace really attaches great importance to this. That's what I'm curious about. Ordinarily, as a top-level figure on this continent, old man Tianyan should have some of his secrets that are not known to the public. Why can King Lei Palace know it so accurately? Xiao Xian shook his head slightly. But a name suddenly appeared in his mind, Venerable Mo Yang. When he got the golden prescription, he got a reminder from the system that Venerable Mo Yang was a rebellious person who killed his master, old man Tianyan. Then, the 10,000 gold prescription was left by Venerable Mo Yang. To say, he was able to obtain the $1 million prescription, and he was somewhat grateful to Venerable Mo Yang. But for the man who killed his master, there was an instinctive resistance in Xiao Xian's heart and he could not accept this matter. Perhaps, there was an unknown secret behind this matter, but now his eyes were darkened and he didn't know anything. Naturally, it is impossible to make an accurate judgment. If there really is an ancient trial magic stone deep in the Tianyan Pond, it is indeed something worth trying in depth, Wu Bingqing affirmed. But, according to Lei Kong, beside the demon testing stone, there will be demons guarding it. Getting the demon testing stone is by no means an easy matter. Xiao Xian reminded. Wu Bingqing nodded. This is not unexpected. The existence of treasures and the existence of natural guardian beasts is just, this demon. This made Xiao Xian a little confused. He knew Wu Bingqing's character. If he is not really in trouble or has something difficult to solve, Wu Bingqing will not take the initiative to seek help. Today, Wu Bingqing said this. But it is enough to prove. She is also quite afraid of things like demons. At the same time, Xiao Xian was also a little confused. He had heard of various spiritual beasts and monsters before. I have never heard of such a thing as a demon. If he remembers well, demons should come from Western myths and legends. It is said that he is the warden of hell, specializing in interrogating and torturing the souls of evil ghosts. How could he appear in the eastern wasteland? Is this a coincidence, or did someone do it deliberately? Xiao Xian also fell into deep thought for a while. But let's make peace with it now. Now that we're here, don't worry about what's ahead. Even if it's the Lord of Hell, can we still be afraid of him? Wu Bingqing consoled him. In this regard, Xiao Xian also nodded secretly. You are right, let's continue walking. I don't believe that what he can do with thunder and sky, can't we do it? Since embarking on the path of cultivation, what Xiao Xian is most proud of is that he has a persevering heart. Everything. Where there is a will, there is a way. Since there is such a precious treasure as the trial stone, he went through all the trouble to come to Tianyan Pond, so he naturally had no reason to give up the treasure hunt. Needless to say, Xiao Xian immediately regarded finding the demon test stone as the ultimate goal of his trip. After searching in Lei Kong's space packet, Xiao Xian found some records about demons. He discovered that King Lei Temple didn't know much about demons. In just a few words, they just explained that demons were invulnerable and not afraid of water and fire, but were somewhat afraid of the power of the soul. This made Xiaoxian secretly surprised. An invulnerable demon? He had never seen this before, or even heard of it. However, according to what Lei Kong recorded, demons are actually afraid of the power of the soul, which is good news for Xiaoxian. I really want to talk about it. In the power of the soul. He is still very knowledgeable about the power of the soul. The spirit of reality. Even among the Kengshen realm, he can be considered a standout. In this case, I should have some advantages. Xiaoxian smiled slightly. Upon hearing this, Wu Bingqing rolled her eyes again. I'm afraid that in this world, only Xiaoxian can say such shameless words. For ordinary practitioners, cultivating the soul is much more difficult than cultivating the physical body and Taoist power. Only the cultivators themselves know the hard work involved. Therefore, on this continent, only less than 30% of the people can become true soul cultivators. For this, Xiaoxian also heard about it, but he didn't take it too seriously. After all, the world is huge, and there are countless people who have embarked on the path of cultivation, and the proportion of soul cultivators is smaller. But the absolute number will certainly not be small. From this perspective, Xiaoxian didn't think he was that great. However, Wu Bingqing next to him didn't think so. In Wu Bingqing's opinion, Xiaoxian's attitude was really too proud. What do you plan to do? Looking at your current appearance, it seems that I have nothing to persuade you. You just want to enter the depths of the Tianyan Pond, fight against the devil, and get the demon test stone. Wu Bingqing said tentatively, there should be danger in this. Have you thought about it? Now that we have arrived at Tianyan Pond, participating in the baptism of heavenly flame, there are some dangers that you still have to take. Xiaoxian was non-committal, based on Lei Kong's preparations. Although he is quite afraid of these so-called demons, he is definitely not incapable of defeating them. After Xiaoxian explained, Wu Bingqing also nodded slightly, but then frowned slightly. But since Lei Kong knows that demons are afraid of the power of the soul, why are there not many people with strong soul power among the disciples he leads this time? I have also considered this issue. The only explanation is that Lei Kong did not tell the disciples of King Glei Palace about the demon. In other words, these King Glei Palace disciples are what he wants to abandon. Say it. Wu Bingqing's expression changed instantly. Among all the sects entering Tianyan Pond, the disciples of King Glei Palace are undoubtedly the most powerful. Could it be that Lei Kong is so generous that he can just give up on these disciples? Are you crazy? If you become the leader of the clan, all the clan members will become emperors. Author, greedy for the body but not FO. Chapter 890. The method is good. But it doesn't sound that simple, does it? Wu Bingqing couldn't help but be a little suspicious. Although King Glei Palace is a large sect with its back, if you really want to talk about it, you won't make fun of your own sect disciples easily. Say it. Xiaoxian also nodded secretly. But I was a little confused inside. According to normal principles, even if Lei Kong is the leading disciple of King Glei Palace, he does not seem to have the right or ability to betray all the sect disciples. It's even less possible for the so-called magic stone. Let the entire trial team be destroyed. So why just now? Can Lei Kong make that choice? Is it just to protect yourself? Before Wu Bingqing said this, Xiaoxian had not thought about this issue carefully, but now, he had to think about it carefully. Based on the previous situation, Lei Kong is pretty good. To be able to become the leading disciple of King Glei Palace, one must have two brushes of his own. However, after being tricked by Xiaoxian, he suffered a lot and did not dare to go too far. But in the end, he was able to make up his mind and betray all his disciples. Just rely on this courage. This is enough to prove that Lei Kong does still have an agenda. Could it be said that Lei Kong's original purpose of entering the Tianyuan pond was not for the Tianyuan essence, but to test the magic stone? Think of this. Xiao Xian couldn't help but take a breath of air. If this is really the case, all his previous judgments were really wrong. Maybe, he really needs to think carefully about what he needs to do in the end. To understand this, Xiao Xian suddenly laughed and said, in this case, the next thing to do is simple. Lei Kong's purpose may also be to test the magic stone. Wu Bingqing was a little puzzled. Xiao Xian and Lei Kong are enemies. Now, Lei Kong is dead. Even if Xiao Xian knows Lei Kong's purpose now, what will happen in the end? Could it be that? Can Xiao Xian really get any benefits from this matter? This is simply unbelievable. So what if you know this? At present, we still turn a blind eye to the devil's affairs. If I were the decision maker, I might not let you enter the depths of the Tianyuan pond. Wu Bingqing couldn't help but said. As the second disciple of the inner sect of King Hua Academy, she has also led teams to perform many missions, and still has the most basic judgment on some mission environments. Currently, they know nothing about the depths of Tianyuan pond. Under such circumstances, how can others make such a decision? Have you really thought about it? Must we enter the depths of Tianyuan pond? Wu Bingqing couldn't help but remind, looking back now, we can still hunt some skyflame beasts casually and gain the qualification to leave the skyflame pond. At worst, 5 or 6 dragons will be baptized. From a certain perspective, her suggestion is quite pertinent. It is also relatively safe. Although adventure is quite important for a cultivator, what is more important is that even if there is a great adventure, one must live to enjoy it. Otherwise it's of no use. Just like before. Perhaps, Lei Kong and Qing Long both came with a very strong purpose, but what happened in the end? Isn't it still a failure? Even his own life was lost. No. This may be safe, but it's not the purpose of our coming here, isn't it? Xiao Xian shook his head. For him, time is the most precious thing. The disaster of the 2 continents is coming soon, if the secret key to the Dao continent cannot be found quickly. Billions of living beings will be devastated. He has no time or opportunity to wait for the next baptism of Tianyuan. Good. Wu Bingqing took a careful look at Xiao Xian. I found that his face was serious. She also realized that Xiao Xian's words were not casual words, but what he really thought in his heart, which had to make her take it seriously again. Xiao Xian is her savior. Since he was going to give it a try for the magic stone, Wu Bingqing naturally had no chance of backing down. Thank you. Actually, okay. Xiao Xian also expressed his gratitude. In fact, he originally wanted to say that if Wu Bingqing didn't want to, he could wait for him outside Tianyuan pond. But after thinking that Wu Bingqing also has a character that would rather break than bend, still gave up this persuasion. Wu Bingqing, on the other hand, was smart. After glancing at Xiao Xian, she roughly guessed what he was thinking. I just gave him a big eye roll. Seeing Wu Bingqing like this, Xiao Xian also understood that his persuasion was a bit unnecessary, so he just said, "Be careful." Then he took the lead, walking towards the depths of Tianyuan pond. Deep in Tianyuan pond, Xiao Xian unexpectedly discovered that after walking on a hot road, the originally strong power of the heavenly flame gradually disappeared, replaced by inside turned out to be dark and deep caves. In the silent cave, the cries of crows or other strange birds could be heard from time to time, which sounded very scary. White bones appeared on the ground from time to time. Judging from the shape, these should be the bones of a human and a skyflame beast. Strangeness. Why are there these bones? Looking at the appearance of these bones, they are very old. They are obviously people and skyflame beasts who were killed in the past few years. Xiao Xian picked up a piece. Under long-term weathering and erosion, the bones have become very brittle. It broke with just a slight break. Devils eat people. Seeing these bones, Wu Bingqing also felt a chill on her back. Hard to say. It is said that these demons are from the west. I don't know what kind of existence they are. Xiao Xian couldn't help but shake his head, but the more it is like this, the more important it is to test the magic stone. Wu Bingqing also recognized this. The stronger the demon is, the more valuable the things they protect are. In this case, she also wanted to take a closer look at why this thing was so important. At this time, a gray-black force suddenly appeared. The bombardment hit a place not far in front of Xiaoxian, and a huge boulder was instantly shattered by the bombardment. Who? Xiaoxian was instantly alert. The powerful power of the avenue gathered together. A trace of spiritual aura appeared and spread towards the unknown area ahead, and he soon noticed the existence ahead. It turned out that there was a tall monster standing in front of him, with a black face and no beard, and two big horns on his head. The monster's eyes were blood red. The mouth was slightly cracked, and the white teeth were exposed, looking very vicious and terrifying. Demon. Xiao Xian frowned slightly. Judging from the appearance of this thing, it shouldn't be that easy to deal with. Moreover, coupled with the previous reminders from Wu Bingqing and Lei Kong, he had to deal with it carefully to see how strong this thing was.